All right, let's start. 1 minute. Okay, so my name is Manoj Ranaweera. I founded SkilledUp Life back in August 2020. And what we're trying to do is to help two types of entities. One is anyone over 18 years can sign up free and gain the experience they want to improve their career prospects. On the other side, early stage tech companies who are cash starved to be in a position to hire employees can tap into our free talent pool. And they can, using the free talent, they can progress their companies further and eventually become employers of future. So the way to unlock the talent pool on SkilledUp Life is through what we call the HR volunteer. Obviously, every individual on SkilledUp Life are volunteering to gain experience, so we generally call them volunteers. But lately, we have started to use the term SkilledUp Lifer to give a bit more belonging to what we are doing. We are basically building a large community. So the HR volunteer is fundamental in unlocking the talent pool on SkilledUp Life. Most of our early stage tech company customers don't actually know how to build teams. So it is fundamental that HR volunteer has the basic knowledge to help them build their teams. Okay, so so today I'm just going to give you some a little bit of an introduction, and then we'll go into Q&A, and I'll try to answer any questions you might have. So the role of HR volunteer is paramount simply because a trained HR volunteer is the fastest way for our customers to find the best fit talent. Most of our customers are pretty much early stage tech founders. They do so much, they have to do so much to keep their businesses stop going bust, so that reliance on the HR volunteer has become quite critical. So the idea is that we will go in to train as many as possible. So today is just an introduction, but we have a whole team now. In the past, we were not able to help our customers because we ourselves were struggling, but we now have a team of over 10 HR folks in our team. So let me just share a couple of slides. Now this slide pack is actually quite old, and I apologize for that. Right, so let's find. Okay, that's not important. And I think this one is quite critical because the essence of what we are doing is we fit in between the education and job market. And all we are doing is providing experience. You can't earn through us. We remove the financial compensation from gaining experience. So if you want to get paid while gaining experience, we are not right. If you just want experience, we are right. So that's our own positioning, and we are on this continuous loop. You gain education, you get experience from us, you go and get a job. You might want to change the job in the future, and then you come back and go through this loop. And you could go through if you take a freelancer route, you can still continue to come back. And we have quite a number of people who are freelancing but really want to be involved with gaining more experience through us as well. So what's on the chat? Okay, so we got a question here. How long does a volunteer position last for? What we are insisting on is 60 volunteer days. You need to commit between 1 to 3 hours per day. You will agree the actual time, and these are all remote. And all you need is the ability to log into internet and work with the team. So it's just 60 days, and you could finish in 3 months, or you might drag on a little bit if you miss a few days. Right, so we got this. What do we have here? Okay, as I said, the importance of HR is, HR is critical, really is. You got to help the company find the best volunteers. You got to help the company build teams. And at the end, you need to make sure you put in a performance criteria, some way to measure the performance of the team. So you are actually helping companies build what I call high performing volunteer teams. Right. So this is quite old. Cecilia volunteered with us, and as soon as we were able to offer, we gave her a job. So she's our head of HR, and in fact finished 1.5 volunteer terms. When she started the first term, she has to stop halfway through for personal reasons, and then she came back later, and she just finished a complete 3 months term with us. And she has been brilliant. I mean, she's done so much for us. And one of the things she did recently is to introduce a method of giving a level of what I call grading the value that volunteer contributed. Lillian sadly abandoned us, and Sylvia completed as well some time back. These are all pictures, but Saloni's actually done about 2 terms, and now she's actually helping another company. She's writing a research paper on us as well. So she's actually quite gone deep into HR from a theoretical point of view as well. We have a much bigger team. I need to update these slides. I'm sorry about that. So just looking at this, let me just close this. So the core tasks are around, I talk about volunteer sourcing earlier. It's not, you could have some sort of strategy established out with the CEO of the company, and you need to produce, you need to create a processes. Then there has to be some tools. It's not just about sourcing. Once you source, you have to onboard them, provide training, performance monitoring, and because everybody comes for 3 months, typically, you need to provide succession planning. What that meant is that when somebody comes in towards the end, there has to be a replacement in place. And then when the terms ended, you need to offboard them from your systems, etc., and also provide letter of recommendations and testimonials. Right. Okay. Thank you. And so looking at here is what I call blueprint for success. So you have to have a strategy. So the strategy is established by yourself and the company you would volunteer for. So typically you'll be working with a CEO, and together you need to come up with a sound strategy. And the strategy ought to look at the next 12 months, saying, where is the company right now? Where does it want to get to in 12 months' time? And how are you going to help that process by bringing the right talent into that company? So the strategy need to start from that, and you're going to establish it. And then you're going to work back and say, okay, 6 months time, what do we need? What do we need right now in terms of number of people? And there are 3 basic strategies you could adopt. You could either start building functional teams like we have done, or you could build teams around the permanent staff of the company. What's the third one? I've forgotten now. Or you could just keep adding 1 or 2 people. Now, adding 1 or 2 people is not really the skilled up life way, because we have now nearly 22,000 people. So a company can have 100 people if they decide to have 100, but you can't just take 100, because you got to establish a process that really works. So process is fundamentally important. Once you got a strategy, you got to establish the process, and you need to have certain documentation in place. You got to have software tools. So for example, we use Slack for collaboration. We use Trello for task management, and we use a whole bunch of other things. And then you need to have the know-how of how to do this with SkilledUp Life. And that's where we come in, and our HR team are here to help you and train you and provide continuous guidance. And that's what the help is about. So the volunteer life cycle, first, once you got to identify what are the roles you need, and then you had to create what we call the opportunities and list them on the site, and then you had to source them. So once you find the individuals, so sourcing has 2 elements. One is that people will apply, then you can review them. And the second method is that you can go into the database and look for better fit individuals if the applicants are not right for you. And we also have another area here called pre-qualification. Let me try to show it to you quickly. This is what we use for ourselves, but you, as a HR volunteer volunteering for a company, you are very, very welcome to copy this, replicate this for them. But this is for us. And then, once you selected the individual, you need to have some sort of an interview. If it's a technical role, there might be test involved. And then before you start anything, if the interview is successful, you got to have a agreement, and we have a template for that called volunteer agreement. Once the document is signed by both parties, you got to onboard. It's very critical that the onboarding take place quickly. Then there might be some training involved, and then once the volunteering has started, then it's a matter of monitoring, making sure they are performing, and if there are problems, you address them. And you could also send some surveys to make sure that get a feel for how the volunteer is feeling about the task given. Then towards the end, before the 3 months end, you need to have a successor in place. And then once the term has ended, you need to offboard them. So typical commitment is 1 to 3 hours per day. We recommend 2 hours. And depending on the company, you could choose the time. For us, we are very flexible. Weekly team meetings, we recommend. I think we all have now weekly team meetings, and we insist, for us, ourselves, we insist on daily reporting. I'll show you what daily reporting looks like. So here we use Slack, and everyone has to submit a daily update of what they did. So even I had to do it. Everybody, all paid talent, unpaid talent, everybody has to do this. And by doing that, we build a culture of performance, because what you're doing is basically saying, I did this, right? Then somebody else can go and help or step in and do whatever they need to do to help that individual improve themselves. So coming back to, I think we need it done. So that's it. And let me now quickly show you what the dashboard looked like. What's going on? Okay, so let me try a different one. Yeah. Okay. So this is SkilledUp Life's own dashboard. This is the same functionality is available for every company. And what you can see is once you logged in is that you could immediately see the last 5 people who applied, but it's a bit difficult to process this because you don't know which roles they applied to. But if you come further down, you could see the roles. You could see the applicants against roles. So we are now trying to build a team in South America, Spanish speakers. So I haven't got a clue what that is. Okay, let's look at email marketing, for example. So here's a bunch of people who applied, and you could quickly see that, okay, it hasn't got a picture. So that means probably haven't paid much attention to the profile. So we are always looking for a full profile. Christine has volunteered for another company in the past. I was chatting with her on, I don't know whether she's here, earlier as well. So if you look at, for example, Deborah, so if a person is not right for that role, or the profile is incomplete, you could quickly reject them by clicking on here. So if I look at, for example, okay, so I can't read. Okay, I can read. Okay, so that's a complete profile. Okay, the picture is missing, but it's a complete profile. So you could make a judgment on the suitability. But if you look at another person, for example, Deborah. Oh, slow down. Okay. Okay. So Deborah, even though I had a conversation with her, I told her to complete the profile. She hasn't bothered. So she's actually not in my good books immediately because, I try to help her, but she hasn't. So there's a whole bunch of her experience, her education is all missing. So I can't make a judgment on whether she's right for this role or not. So it's important that you try to select people who has taken the trouble to complete their profile, because that shows the initiative. I read this as saying, oh, I'm lazy, I can't be bothered to complete. All right. So you need to then select, and if that person is somebody you want to take forward, then you should be sending the if you're going to choose pre-qualification pass, send the questionnaire, look at the responses, and then take into have a short interview. Only after signing the volunteer agreement, you should press approve application button, not before. That gives us alert saying, okay, you have somebody helping you. So that's the process, but obviously you good to build you got to establish the processes and systems. And what we've also done recently is that we build a customer hub to help our customers, because as you can see, there's a lot involved. And what we are doing through this hub is trying to educate our customers how to go about in various parts of that recruitment process, and also working with volunteers. So here, for example, we have a pre-qualification questionnaire. This group is set up to have a discussion with them. So Steve is one of our new customers, and he's quite active. So it's quite nice to see customers who are active. So I just want to sort of give you a brief introduction to SkilledUp Life, and they highlight the importance of the HR role for performance evaluation. Okay, so we got a question here saying, what are the measures or metrics used by SkilledUp Life for performance evaluation? So we do not measure performance of individuals who help our customers. We only measure performance of our own team. And really, to be frank with you, we are at a very early stage of looking at how to evaluate performance. But what we are doing right now is I sort of mentioned Anne before, and she has created a grading criteria The grading criteria is actually used when we write the letter of recommendation at the end. How we're gonna phrase certain words on that letter of recommendation to highlight the level of help we had, or in this case would be similar with the customer as well. But internally, so let me try to see whether I can find it. 1 minute. Okay. So these are very early stage. Sorry. Okay, this is a very early stage performance methodology. And basically, we had a period where, I was the best HR volunteer we had, and I was scoring more than others. But the idea was that, we had a hard time. This is October. Okay, this got a little bit screwed. That's October. But now, I don't actually play any role here. So if we look at what's happening now. Okay. So that's next week. Oh, that's good. They have done next week as well. Okay. 6. So if you look at here, so you could see Dicky. Oh, I haven't even spoken to Dicky. Dicky's done really well compared to others. Oh, okay. He's that's just okay. So okay. So what we're really looking at is in terms of the recruitment here is, how many people did you manage to get across from applying into volunteering? So it seems, I don't think people are feeling this correct. So I need to have a chat with my team, because we had a week recently where we onboarded 14 people. Okay, so look at that. That was a good week. January. Okay, and then they, I don't think people have recorded what they did here, because we onboard every week. But that week we had a exceptional week. We onboarded 14 people into our team. Now our team is nearly 70 plus, around 70. So this is not actually showing the accurate results. Now we haven't actually introduced this to any of our customers, and I think we should. Oh, sorry, I was not showing it to you. Oh, beg your pardon. I'm sorry. I was talking about it. My apologies. So let me show it again. This is what I was talking about. Really sorry about that. Can you see it now? Assume you can see it now. Okay, so I'm sorry about that. I need to watch out for that. So this grading system, sorry, this is about trying to really motivate our own HR team and coming up with a scoring method so that they can see who's performing well. And we want to develop this further so that we can almost recognize and who's the I don't know, maybe give a batch or something saying, let's say in this case, this is not good. But in this case, Kushi was outstanding, she scored 39. And that's a significant number. But what I was saying earlier is that people aren't recording here, and I need to go and shout at few people, not shout, trying to get them to complete and re-emphasize the importance of this. But we are getting results now. At one point, we were really struggling to build our team, but building our team now is not a big problem because we have established processes and systems in place. So I think I'll stop talking and take any questions you have. Please unmute and speak. And if you can give a quick introduction, that would be great as well. So any questions? No? Everybody's happy? No questions mean you are not happy. I'm here to help you. So if you don't ask questions, I can't help you. When is the program starting? It's not a program. It's what we have listed opportunities, and you need to apply. And if you get selected, then we can start to provide training, further training. So it's not a program as such. It's not bound by time to a date. Any more questions? I mean, if you type, I'm happy to answer. If you don't want to speak, that's fine. Let me try to find any listed opportunities. So if you are we needed to apply somewhere after this call? Oh, well, first of all, you need to have a profile on SkilledUp Live. So Prosper, it sounds like you don't have a profile. So I assume that you came here because you have a profile. I do have okay, you do have a profile, but you need to you need to make sure your profile is complete, as I was showing some examples earlier, and you need to then go and apply for relevant roles. So let me share the screen and see what roles we can find. So our SkilledUp Live is better using a computer and not when you use a mobile phone. It's not optimized for mobile. So if we look at here, the quick, easiest way, according to this one, it says there are 14 opportunities. So this is for Delight. That's one of my businesses as well. It's pretty much run by volunteers actually at the moment. And then we are, oh, this is bad. It's the same thing. Oh no, it might be different. These are two Spanish roles. So that's Spanish. Compy also looking for English speaker as well, it seems. Here's another one, headhunter volunteer. Rather than calling HR, call it headhunter. Nomad is looking for human resources as well. This is a little bit more specialized. So I don't exactly know the role, but it's sort of fitting with HR as well. These are all roles. I don't know why they are here. A couple of these. And then Blue Cars is also looking for a recruiter, ADOS as well. So there are a few roles you can apply. And what we also plan to have is that we plan to have a larger team where we can actually second some of the individual HR volunteers to other teams to help them build their own team. So those are the roles at the moment. Okay. Right. Yes. I mean, well, I think we have nearly about 9 minutes. So I'm happy to help you. What I can also do is, Busayo, I think you are already working with Steve, right? So How far have you got to? Are you able to speak? Okay. So do you have any more questions? No? Everybody happy? Okay. I mean, the other thing is that if what I could do is, because I still got a few minutes, I could try to find your profile and give some feedback, maybe. Would that help? Oh, if you are chosen for a team, obviously they will let you know, because they will invite you to either fill a pre-qualification questionnaire or for an interview. So if I type Prosper, I mean, if okay, I can't find you for some reason. Maybe you have a different username. I can take a look at your profile. If are you able to type your username? So is that you, Prosper? So you okay? So there was a delay. I can't quite find you. But if you are able to type your SkilledUp Live full user SkilledUp Live profile URL, then I can look at your profile and suggest ways to improve. Because if you apply without an incomplete profile, you won't get very far. So if you look at, so the profile will be profile URLs of this type. No, you can't connect with me on LinkedIn, please, because that's not the best way to help. Don't call me sir, I'm just called Manoj. Everybody, we don't have formalities. I think, you know, if you need help, because I'm not the best person to help, this button at the bottom, right? Behind this is a bunch of people like yourself, and they are here to support. So you should be able to ask anything from them. So use talk. Talk is the best way to find out any information about us or anything. Not really. Not really. Okay, okay. So just to okay. So if I look at this profile, this section about me should be about a quick introduction to you. You don't have to say I am Kartik Pandey, because obviously you have already said that there, so you don't need to repeat that, and you need to give an introduction. But in addition to the introduction, what we want to say is, what is your career path, career intentions, career aspirations? So here's saying, I feel ambitious about the field and see a prosperous career in HR. Okay. Internships and volunteer programs might help me to be okay. So he's clearly saying that he has aspirations to get into HR. So that's what we want to see with respect to HR. Okay, let's look at this. Okay, so first of all, your picture's missing. Okay, so you're saying professional looking to eventually focus on human resource analytics. Working in government chartered institute. I'm open to internship post in the human resources. Okay, I mean that's okay. That's a little bit short, but that's fine. So you are clearly saying that you are interested in HR. That's what we're looking for. Then you say that you have a degree. It would be nice to say something, see something here, even though that's biochemistry seem to be miles away from HR. And you have process raw material packaging. Okay, that's fine. So sometimes people have a tendency to not to include their previous employment history because they think that their previous jobs are nothing to do with what they want to do. That might be the case, but it's best to include them so that we get an understanding of knowing that you actually have work experience, not related to a job, but you have some work experience. So you know how to work with a team of people. You know, timekeeping is important. Attending interviews on time is important. If you said, I will deliver on that day, a report or whatever, you actually deliver. And you get these skills when you actually work in a company of some sort. And this is also important as well. So you are basically saying, good at time management. There's still space for improvement. If you put 100% all, nobody believes you. So this is good. You seem to identify teamwork, attention to detail. These are sort of three basic things we are looking for. So while this profile is not comprehensive, but it has the essentials that's needed. And obviously, we suggest you upload the picture because we are humans dealing with humans, and it doesn't matter whether you are beautiful or ugly or handsome or whatever. It's just people, right? So people respond to other people, and it's nice to see there's a human behind this profile. And yeah, so I think this is concise, this is fine. So I would say, Shalom, you have a good profile. And in fact, what I'll do is yeah, so please do get your picture uploaded, because it's nice to see, when you look at if we go back to the dashboard, when we look at a whole bunch of people applying, we don't go because somebody's look better than another person. That's not the point, but it's just like feel like it's a human person, right? So I think pictures are very important. Okay, someone's applied for twice for the same thing, maybe a glitch on the system. So we have about a minute. Do you want to ask final question then? Okay, not really mine. Okay, don't do that. Okay, so I think we'll bring this to an end, and what I'll do is I'll wrap this up and upload to YouTube, and then others can watch, and hopefully that will help. So please do apply, and if you don't hear from anyone, just go on the chat at the bottom right, and talk to a person, and they should be able to help you. Okay, thank you very much, and all the best. Take care. Bye.